But what's up, Marcelo? Nice to have you here. Thank you, Claudia, as well, for joining me, and whoever else is watching this up on the replay or whatnot. Get your questions in. It's Vaughn here, professional ballroom and Latin dancer coach, ready to help you for free on the internet. Let's go. Give me your questions. What are your biggest challenges? It's just between you and me and everyone else on the platform. So anyway, great to have you. I'm off to LA on Saturday. It's going to be amazing. Shout out to Marie and Annabelle. We are going to have an amazing time doing Pro-Am at the Emerald Ball. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyone here from LA? Can they recommend anywhere good to eat? I love good food and I love good times. So anywhere to go out, always good to know. So I'll get straight into the questions. First of all, how do you teach expressions at face during dancing? Excuse my English. That's cool. I appreciate the comment. How do you teach expressions at face? Okay, so the face is very important in dancing, right? The face. So I had a student and he had the most atrocious looking face when he danced. Now, God bless the dude because he loved to dance, but his face was so unattractive. And I don't think anyone had really told him, or it hasn't sunk in. So I'll tell you what I told him, and we started to get away from it. But first of all, he wasn't aware. So are you aware of your face? Okay. Now, there's a problem with being aware is that you now know you might look weird or stupid, and then you try to control your face, and that's where it can get a bit messy, right? So now you feel self-conscious that your facial expressions are weird, you look odd, you're on the floor and you're like, oh God, people look at me. So you like go, and you start staring with laser eyes, right? Or you start going inside thinking, should I smile? Is that appropriate? Like you get weird self-talk, yeah? All dancers get funny self-talk. Okay, so what you do is be aware, but then you also have to let it go. With the facial expressions, I'd just say, first of all, the face, it needs to be relaxed, but it also is a reflection of feeling and emotions a lot of the time, okay, especially in dancing. But this guy's face was like sideways. He was like out here when he would dance, like pulled back, right? So he'd be moving and turning and his face would do things. So are you aware if your face does strange movements with your body movements, right? So that can happen sometimes as well. And so what I said to him was, look, I had to make him aware of it. I'd click. I'd be like, now, because he would get this funny face and he had to straighten it up, right, and get back to normal. And so it's okay to have a feeling when you dance, right? You want to show that you're enjoying the dance through your face, through your body language, but not all feelings are representative, right? They're not all good indicators of what you feel as a performer, okay? Now, you'll also look when you see power move. Okay, so let's take it this way. When you watch professionals dance, what faces do you see? They ain't choreographing their faces. So it's probably better to start there. Like, don't choreograph your face to your routine, right? Okay, so if you count when you dance, that'd be the second don't. When you perform, all right, because you need to count when you practice, but when you perform, you don't count. Like that's an amateur thing. Yeah, you're not going to go 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3, right? Because that's again an insecurity, right? That you have to out-train. So we don't want to count. We don't want to choreograph our face. We also want to make sure that when we go on the floor, that we're in the best place possible to perform, which means we're there's an inside, like, okay, so I don't want to go into the performance side of things right now, but there's a lot you should do to prepare yourself to perform. And I suppose in Ballroom Mastery Academy, I've got a massive module on performance and how to go from the studio to the stage and how to prepare 30 days in advance. But one of the things you've got to think about with your face is lightening it up. So a very basic way of doing this is when you go on the floor, yeah, you smile, but you keep your face light, right? So here's what a dark face looks like. See? Very focused. You see that? Okay. Now, you might be serious or intention, but that's not right. So you actually do want to practice being able to be in control of your face. So here's what you should do. You should be in control of your face. So if you're aware of your face, you know that, oh, I'm frowning right now, and you can relax it, right? Or you can make it brighter, so you lighten it up a little bit, yeah? Or you can go back to that intensity. Another one you can do is practice. This is acting exercise, but you can practice laughing and then stopping. So, right, and you practice bang, bang. So it's emote, close, right? Sad or focus, close, right? And you sort of come back to this neutral place, and you'll realize when you perform that you can have these tools sort of that come from within and then are expressed without, so to speak. Yeah, I guess that's a bit of a waffly answer, but fundamentally, if you, I suppose, when you record yourself, a couple of the easy things not to do: don't count. Train yourself to keep your mouth closed. Smile when necessary, but don't smile the whole time, because smiling is a weird thing to do in the paso doble. It's creepy, right? In the tango, like it's villainous, right? It looks strange. In the rumba, it doesn't make as much sense, but it does on some movements, right? So it's okay to smile. But a lot of people think that dancers hold a smile the whole time, and I've seen dancers do that in ballroom, and it's just creepy, yeah? Like holding a smile exactly the same the whole time is very odd. So each dance has to have its character, right? So tango would be passion, strong, maybe love, hate. There'd be a lot of that intense feeling. So maybe that furrowing of the brow could work a little bit, yeah? But you wouldn't want odd face gestures, right? Where maybe you're puckering your lips, right? You wouldn't want to be having your mouth sideways, like I said before, your eyes closed, looking down. So yeah, but the hardest thing about the face is that it needs to become part of your natural expression of movement, because as I said before, if you watch top dancers performing, they will do some weird shit with their face sometimes, yeah? So they'll be like, they'll be doing like a power move, and their face will express like bang, and they'll look very seriously at something, and then lighten up. That's like rehearsed, you know what I mean? But dancers whose tongue comes out like a lizard every time they do a step. There was a dude who used to do that a lot on the floor, just be like licking. It's like, I think he was excited, right? Too much licking, though. That doesn't make sense, right? So that's a bad habit. I hope it's easier to tell you what not to do, because what to do is very personal and it's your own thing. So it's better to know, like, just don't do weird shit like poking your tongue out, one eye closed the whole time you dance, right? Face sideways, like it's just weird. So I guess you can eradicate that and counting, you know. So let's put like 5 things right there. Outside of that, who gives a crap, right? Like at the end of the day, if you're enjoying yourself, it's going to come out in a fun way. So you've got to get to a place where you actually really enjoy your dancing, and then that comes out as part of it, all right? Then you might watch a video and go, ooh, cringe. All right. Marcelo, welcome back. First question I'm preparing. By the way, anyone got any questions? Put them in. Claudia, if that helped, let me know. Film yourself. You'd be surprised what you see. What's up, Ulrich? Good to see you. Mr. Belgium's in the house. Rich, hello. Welcome, buddy. Yeah. I'm just gonna go on to this. This is good. Ulrich, your feeling can definitely mislead you. So true. Film yourself. You'll be surprised what you see. Yeah, I agree. As you know, I'm a big proponent of filming. People hate this, but in the studio, dance sport competitors, metal, I'm like, you got to film yourself. You got to look at what you look like. It's what I'm seeing, because your feelings are lying to you. They're lying. What you feel isn't how it looks a lot of the time. Sometimes how it looks isn't how it feels. And so, yeah, you can have strange facial expressions, but you can also have really strange like dance movements, right? So film yourself, Claudia, and see how it goes. Okay, we're up and running. Come on, people, give me those questions. So if we look at this one, preparing for an exam, this is a big one. I like this. The waltz, foxtrot, any tip for the style, posture? Oh, this is a big one. So this is your first exam? Hold on, I've got a sound for this. I'm going to use this. That's your first exam. I think that's awesome, dude. Actually, this is a better one. Let's rock with this one, Marcelo. Dude, welcome to the club. I reckon that is fantastic. You need to do exams. Everybody, follow Marcelo's lead. You got to do exams. They are one of the most important things to do for your technique and for your dancing and for your overall enjoyment. To be able to access beautiful movement, you need a good foundation in technique. Okay, so what's some tips I can give you? So, because it's your first exam, and to give you some background, so our studios run for over 10 years, and we've done about 1,000 medals, all graduating in the very, very high percentiles, sort of 80, 90%. From very first medals up to, 15 years worth of medals sort of thing. So big range. And within each category, I can see like there's different things that are important to practice for the next exam. Okay, syllabus being one, meaning the steps you do. But there's different I like to say that with technique, you access skills, and those skills allow you to access certain movements, certain qualities of movements. Those qualities of movements allow you to express your dancing better, to connect with the music better, and to ultimately perform better and ultimately become a better artist in your dancing, right? Okay, so at each sort of level, you are developing those skills. There's certain things you want to get right. When you're looking at your very first exam, it's so easy to get overcomplicated on everything. And I'm not for that, guys. Gentlemen, who here has complicated their life with a woman? So you just gotta simplify, man. Simplify your practice. Simplify the way you do it. What do you focus on then? Okay, because if we look at technique and skills, this is really good for people to know. You will watch YouTube and go, I want to dance like that guy. I want to dance like, look at my Dance Decoded, where I look at Slavic and Franco and all these amazing dancers. You're looking at the end product. You don't know what got them there. I do. That's what I spend my time studying, teaching, training with those coaches that train them, and talking to all these dancers. There is a strong base of technique. Now, here's the thing in the technique you want to focus on. Ready? Footwork and your timing. That's it. Footwork and timing. Now, posture is part of that, but I would say in your first 3 years of medals, you are going to be hard-pressed remembering your routine, let alone doing anything outside of your footwork, timing, and posture. That is my biggest secret I can give you from a mastery perspective. If you get those three things working for you to the best of your body's ability, you are going to find when you want to go to the next level, because those skills are hardwired. And by the way, for my students, I think by the time they get to what we call silver, I start seeing the gap happen between our studio and others and other dancers in the same category. But it takes like 6 years of that, right? 6 years, footwork, timing, posture, and just hammer that. I add other things on top of that, but I don't go into depth on the mechanics of swing and sway. We talk about it, obviously, but we don't go into crazy depths on that hardcore technique, which is what most coaches do, because I think it makes them feel special and like they feel more proud. But that's a different way of teaching, right? I think it's too early for some people. It's like going into martial arts, right? So I've trained in martial arts before. It's like you're aware in black belt, like it's a different level of skill, and you need to be able to get there first. That doesn't mean you can't get there. It's just you need to know certain things, right? So footwork, timing, and posture. Now, within those three things, your footwork's heels and toes, balls, etc. What part of the foot's in contact with the floor, and you're trying to map that to the time of the music and the time of the routine, right? So now that's one aspect of the technique. You need to get those three things. Focus heavily on that. The next thing you need to do is a lot of continuity practice. Can everyone say that word with me? Continuity. I'm going to spell it here. Continuity. Oh my God. Continuity. I think I did it right. We'll find out. Some grammar Nazi will come after me. Continuity, right? This word means continuous, yeah? So one of the biggest letdowns, even for experienced dancers, right, is they don't continue. So what happens is you start, I'll ask you this, in your slow foxtrot, you start the beginning every time you do it, right? So you've probably done the beginning, let's say 100 times. How many times have you done the end of the routine? Less, right? Not 100 times. Because we don't start in the middle or we don't start towards the end. So what ends up happening is you end up doing the more at the front than the back, and then you stop at a certain point, and that becomes the habit or the break point in your routine, and then you end up never really fixing that point a lot of the times, and then that becomes like a dam, like a water, just filling up. So what you need to do to let that flow through is you need to practice continuity, which means no matter what mistakes you make, no matter how bad it is, no matter what happens with your timing even, you continue through the routine to the very end no matter what. It's so important in the beginning of your dancing. Now, people might criticize that and say, oh, you'll make bad habits. But how many times should you stop and start, right? Because I'm doing this from a logical point of view. So let's say you've got an hour in the studio. A whole hour is not continuity practice, all right? Google my 7-step framework for practice, and you'll see that you divide up your practice smartly. But you want to aim for the technique part, so the footwork, your timing, posture, that's your technique. That you do that after like a warm-up, for example, for 20 or 30 minutes on the waltz or foxtrot. Then you spend 20 or 30 minutes continuity to music, trying to get the technique into the flow with the music, right? And there's sort of no other way to do it, because if you only did continuity practice, you would have bad habits, okay? You would end up being a very messy dancer. But if you only do technique, you also become horrible at trying to execute to music, which is what the most important thing of dancing is. Shock horror, dancing is about the music. Right? It's about the music, okay? So anyways, if you've got any more questions, people, please put them in the window now. So my focus to you is 1 hour of practice, little warm-up, technique, focus in on that, on the dance you want to do, then continuity practice, and don't be afraid of doing that to music. And you will start to see the two work together, and then you can pivot as you need to go. All right? Let female nature, you'll survive life. This is wise words, Rich. Let me come back up here. Look, you got Bolivia in the house, Claudia. Boom, loving that. Loving that. Bolivia, Belgium, Italy. This is amazing. Any suggestions for the average American who wants to social dance to meet women? Yeah, dude, that's a great idea. Great idea. Well, Rich, how are you social dancing? Tell me, what are you doing? Just, I've got to bring, you know what? I'm going to figure out how to bring people in on video. I think that'd be better if I could just talk with you. I'd love to do Q&A like that. Let me know. If I've got to do it. I've got to bring you in here on video and just chat to you about that. That'd be great. But what are you doing to meet women? I think social dancing is a great idea. I know in America, line dancing is very popular. There's probably lots of places you can do American Smooth. That would help. International ballroom's a little bit more, you could say it's niche in a way, but it depends on you as a dancer, right? There's lots of people that do it, but maybe they don't get together socially. Street Latin, lots of Street Latin's a low barrier to entry for social dancing, because pretty much anyone can do it. There's like 30 or 40 people might get there for a class, and everyone can't dance, and it's fun, right? So Street Latin, your line dancing, for example, and then, I would say maybe some smooth could work, depending on your studio or your access to people. But yeah, don't be a weirdo, yeah? So gentlemen, don't be weirdo. We know why you're there. Okay. Right, ladies? Come on, ladies. You all know why the men are there. It's not to become a dancer, right? That's the byproduct. Oh, I love dancing. Bro, you're there for the women, you know it. So don't be a creep. Don't be a weirdo. Just be be yourself, but not really. You got to be like a charming version of yourself when you're dancing. So this is where I think etiquette matters, and it's lost as hell, but I am still old school. I don't mind running game, talking to people, but you got to have the etiquette. Would you like to dance? Right, little smart, boom. No, okay, cool. Next one. But don't be like hovering. Don't have like 7 buttons deep on your shirt and like flaying chest hair and a gold, like 7 gold chains. Right, you got to go. You got to have like some level of charm or you could peacock, right? Like have a reason people and women particularly talk to you and talk about you and look at you and go, "Whoa, look at that guy." But dude, if you can dance, that's going to do it too, right? That's going to really make you known, and your dance card will never be empty. But then when people meet you, they can't be grossed out by you. So you got to smell good, gentlemen. Smell good. I have mad fragrance collections, okay? I've got fantastic. I love, follow me on Instagram. You can see some of my clones. Smell good, deodorant, Manscape, yeah? Comb your damn hair, get a haircut, invest in some good clothes that fit you, yeah? Right, so I'm just wearing a black tee, but this thing fits. And that's going to be part of your style, right? These things matter, gentlemen. And then when you can dance on top of that, people are going to love to be around you. You'll have no problems meeting women. And then the next part of that is like, what do you do with the dates? And so just be mindful if you end up going to like one spot. This is something I saw in my early 20s going out a lot. Like if you go to one spot, just be mindful how you work the room, right? Because you don't want to get branded or tarnished or tarred and feathered because you're a weirdo, right? So you just got to know how to work with the right people, so to speak. So anyway, so here's a tip, gentlemen, that I'm learning and learning. But like anything, just deal with the people who want to deal with you. Okay, like don't try and convince people who don't want to dance with you to dance with you. They miss out, right? So they don't see the benefit. Okay, next person, and that's very, very important. So you're not coming from a place of scarcity, right? You're coming from a place of abundance. Okay, Rich, I hope that helps you. But let me know what you're going to do. What are you going to do with that advice? What you going to step your game up? What are you going to do for yourself, sir? I believe you can do it. Let's have a look at this. Where are we? This is great content. Oh, what's up, man? Not only for competition, but social density too. You are welcome, and thank you for being here. And yes, it's for all. I love all levels of dance. There's a different world in the dance sport world, and the social world is a different world. But we all love dancing. The hit point. Method for practicing new material. What do you do differently when training versus practicing? What's up, Mike? Okay, so we're going there. We're going Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee. Okay, there is no practice. It's all real. Okay, so unfortunately, it is complicated to become a good dancer. It's not like just do this one thing. But if you lay it out, okay, like I said before, if all you did was your routines all the time, even with new bits on top, you would be crap. You'd have horrible technique, right? And if all you did was technique all the time, you wouldn't be able to execute to music or perform at the highest level because you haven't given time to that, right? Okay. Here's what I do. I in ballroom dancing, I would use the music as the differentiator between when it's going to be real, so to speak, right? And when I'm very focused. So I like the word focus. So let's say that we're in a lesson together and your problem right now is footwork, right? Like, so you're not getting your feet to behave. So we fix the step. Now, what you have to do is you have to understand your brain needs to wire or rewire the connections, right? From here down to your feet. And you can't do that under duress of music. So I like the idea of focusing. You focus in your feet and you're really attentive. See, I'm looking down at the moment. That's fine, right? I'm not looking at the floor, but I'm looking down. I'm in my feet and I'm focusing on the thing I need to fix. There's no music for that, right? And I'll use the next week of practice to try and fix the major problem that I have in my steps, routine, dancing. Whatever the thing was that week, I would go, I would then use my time as much as I could for that error. And I would often do that across a couple of dances. So I wouldn't try to fix everything in one dance, just be like one thing for the cha-cha, one thing for the waltz, and that'd be plenty, right? Because it's a compound effect over time. And so what I'd end up doing is then using music as the differentiator. But okay, let's do that to music. Now, when the music comes on, this is a really important hit point. I wanted to make sure that I got out of my head and I didn't think about it at all. And this was a skill and it was something you train. But the music would come on and then I would have to just let my body go. And the crazy thing is your body is a massive feedback loop. Yeah, it's like the nervous system will tell you. You've got nerves, lots of nerves, all your nerves in your hands and your feet. They will feed back to you any problems you have. But I wasn't trying to necessarily, I mean, I was in the beginning, but over time from doing this, I was trying to get away from correcting things, all the things I need to fix as I danced to music. I was trying to get out of that habit, right? So my simple advice to you would be, when the music is off and you're in a lesson, really get as analytical as you want. Get right up in your head, think, focus, get into it, really execute with passion and power and make it all happen. Get the feedback you need, adjust accordingly, do it again, right? Make the pivot in your brain, do it again. Whatever you got to do, tell yourself positive things, speak negatively, whatever you got to do. Don't speak negatively to yourself. That's not going to help in dancing. But then the music comes on, let it go. Opposite. It's like you got to transcend the problem, and then hopefully from the analytical side, you've trained it in enough to be able to go. Now that's a very specific like methodology for performance, but it does work really, really well for me, I found. Okay, so I hope that helps you. There's a lot more we can go in on that, particularly when it comes to technique. And I love to talk about technique because I'm not the only one to teach. There's lots of ways you can do this, but I know what worked for me was defining those two, because I would often go into a performance floor Oh, my biggest problem. I'd go out there and like Claudia, like you, I would count. I'd be like going on that floor and I'd be like, what's the timing? And my partner would be like, what are you talking about? You idiot. You should know your timing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. but I would be so in my head of the routine and trying to get these things right. I was trying to fix it as I was dancing. Has anyone been there? It's horrible. I was trying to fix my choreography as I was dancing on a competition floor. What? But that's what we do. That's what you do in the Marcelo. It's what you do in the beginner levels. You do that in the lower levels. You can't help it because you don't have the skills yet. But you want to separate from that very soon and sort of get into the zone, so to speak, right? And trust your body. The training that's in there will actually serve you, yeah? And that's sort of how it all comes together. I hope that helps. Thanks a lot. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Continuity. Yeah, you know it. You know it. Funny female nature. You'll survive life. Bro, I'm not into surviving. I'm into thriving. Is anyone else in here looking to thrive? I want to thrive. I'll follow that. Good. Okay. Dancing with the Freddy Stars. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Probably talking about Freddy Stars Studios. Yeah, competing with yeah, fair enough. And look, this is one of my gripes with social dancing is a lot of the times it becomes, any more questions, please whack them in the window. I'll just wrap it up. But one of the big issues with, it's not really an issue. Like, I shouldn't frame it that way. Like, social dancing brings competition by nature. That's what sort of happens, right? You can't help it. Dudes are involved. We're going to compete. It's just how we work. And I don't think you should stop that. And I hate participation trophies. I do not think everyone should get a point or a trophy for showing up. No. I'm not for that. But you, so that what happens though, everyone comes into these social settings, the social studios, and you got the dude there, the little alpha dancer who's doing good, and like he knows, and everyone knows that he's the Mac dog. And then yeah, it becomes problematic for the people who may not be as good because they get intimidated. Whereas that's not really helpful. But you shouldn't be afraid of getting on the floor. So I would say to you, I would challenge you to go up against that. Yeah, like I suppose a way to think of it is mental resistance training. So I would you got to imagine it from my point of view, okay? I was always on the back burner with dancing. I was not a star. I was never a star. Come on, I love dancing. I'm a good dancer. It's sort of where I consider myself. But I was going up against like the best dancers in the world, like the top, the cream of the 1.1%, right? The top. I would go and train with these people. I would train them next to them. Okay, this is like in the UFC, where it's like you're training next to Conor McGregor, right? It's like, holy shit. And it's like, no one knows who you are. And you're there to like compete against that. And you see how good all those dancers are. And I'll be like, let's go. Let's get in that room. Let's compete. You know your shit, right? Like, you know you're not the same, but you don't act that way. You go out there and the energy builds you up. Now, what the cool thing is, and here's a good thing for you, Rich, and everyone else to understand this. The people that are really good, they're not wankers. They're actually really accommodating to lend a hand and like give you advice or to talk to you properly. It's the ones that don't do as well. They're the B grades, yeah? They're like they're not A-list celebrities, let's put it that way. The people that think they are, but they're not. Everybody has that around the studios. They understand those people. They're not the people you're competing against, right? Don't worry about them. You're competing against yourself, number one. Number two, you want to try and go up against and rub against really good dancers because it rubs back off on you and people respect it. Plus, you get the benefit then of good networks and you actually get better from the confidence that inspires. It's not talked about a lot because we're inherently believing that competition is healthy. And it is to an extent. So if I go out to compete against you to beat you in dancing, which by the way, I think is weird anyway. Like I think competing in dancing is just a weird thing. But I did it. I loved it. But it was just, I always never thought it was normal. I thought like, it's so artistic. How can you judge it rightly? Anyway, but like, it is what it is. And if that's the game, you play the game. And you play it as best you can. But I found that the unhappiest people were those who went on to compete against other people, right? They were so fucking unhappy. Like, can't you just enjoy life a bit more? Like, they just were so miserable. And it was always about who was producing this result, that result. And then behind the stage, like, they were just miserable, not fun to be around. I was like, come on, man. And so, and it wasn't just an attitude thing. It just seemed to be what fostered because of competing against people rather than giving people a run for their money and competing against yourself as cliche as that sounds. Because by doing that, you actually bring the best out of yourself. Then it's like a positive loop, because then you bring it the next time you step in the studio. That person over there is watching you. They see you're getting a bit better. You become a little bit of a threat. Okay. But to somebody who's really good, they're going to be like that like fuels them. Yeah. It like goes back and forward. It's a really cool thing. When you find a synergy like that, it's really, really powerful. So anyone who's ever been afraid of stepping on a comp floor, stepping into a social studio where there are definitely better dancers than them, stepping onto a floor when they recognize there are better dancers, I would now caution you to not do that, and to say, don't even think about it. Just stand up, start moving a little bit, get on that floor a little bit, make eye contact with the Don, like little head nod, little sign of respect to whoever is like crushing that floor, right? Little fist pump. I'm a fist pumper, right? Boom, right? So a little fist pump to that person, sign of respect, yeah? Ingratiate yourself. Trust me, it really works. This is how I make friends all over the place in nightclubs and things like that. Like I'm an adult, I'm a man, so like when I go out, if I go out to restaurants or pubs, if I walk in there like everyone should talk to me and they owe me a favor, what ends up happening is I end up getting the opposite result. It's not as good. You don't bow down to people, but you go up and just meet someone, just like bang, boom, what's up, how are you, and hello. Doing that really inspires your confidence, and then you get better, right? And you get opportunity. So I encourage you, Rich, do it. Go out there, put yourself on the line a little bit. Don't be a bitch. All right, let's go. Read the system from Doc Love. All right. I think I know what you're talking about. Let's keep this channel friendly. To be the best, you've got to be the best. Okay. So anyone else got any questions out there for me? This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. Have I missed anyone? I just want to check. Yeah, cool. I know what you're talking about. Okay. This has been amazing. I appreciate all your time. Thank you very, very much. And last chance to get 50% off on Boring Master Access. It was a quick little fire sale just to clean out the year and encourage a few new people there. And let me know if I can help you in any way. Anyways, it's been great to have you. Thank you very much. And I will see you in Dance Decoded tomorrow night.